Sound production, take two.
What's the deal, YouTube? House of Trapman? It's your boy K back at you with another video. Yes, I said video. So today we gonna do a story time. Today's Sunday. Got some time to relax. So I'm like, maybe we should do a bit of a story time, right? So we're gonna talk about the time I got fired. Yes, y'all. Yeah, I got fired. Everybody get fired once in a while, and so we're gonna talk about that. Grab your chips, grab your juice, grab your snacks, whatever you need to sit comfortable and rock out with me. So yes, y'all, the time I got fired, like 2017, I believe. And I was pretty much, I used to do construction around that time. And I was thinking like, man, I need a change of pace, something less strenuous, something less physically demanding, or what have you. So I ended up applying for some jobs. I got a couple of callbacks, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I went for pretty much the one that kind of paid similar to what I was getting paid. So I ended up getting an interview for an exterminator company. Yes, exterminator company. It was, something very different from what I was used to, but I was definitely looking for a change of pace. Maybe, just to test the waters out, So the interview, everything went well, to my surprise. I got a call back, pretty much I got the job, right? So they told me, set up the orientation, everything like that, when to come, so that I could be trained, learn some of the stuff that I would need and some of the tools that I would need to, be a good exterminator guy. So anyways, so I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't too fond of, being an exterminator at the time. It was definitely something I've picked up a lot of great knowledge, somehow along the way, whatever. But so I just pretty much needed a new, change of employment. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely less physical demanding, a bit of a pay cut, but it was still fine. So I thought, let me give this thing a try. Let me see how this go. So first couple days on training went well. I'm not gonna lie, the first few days listening to the guy train me, I'm like, I'm not this much interested in bugs, or rodents. Like I kid you not, like how uninterested I was in rodents, in pests, in mice, So but hey, it's a job. Everybody need a job and income, you know what I'm saying? So all right, cool. So as I adjusted, my first maybe week, I had, the company of the guy that was training me. He's been on the job for quite some time, quite a knowledgeable young man. And pretty much, after my training, I would then be on my own in the field, So things went good first couple months. I was doing pretty much residential places and also restaurants overnight. My least favorite shift, I kid you not, my least favorite shift is the third shift. Is it the third shift? Whatever shift overnight is, that's my least favorite shift. I don't want to stay up overnight. Nighttime is made for sleeping, people. If you're still here with me at this moment, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, take a moment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps to push the content out to the algorithm. Take a second. I'll give you a minute to do that. Can you please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button? House of Trotman, let's go. First few days, first few months on the job, it was pretty cool. As a pest control guy, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty, it was a bit annoying because, you would do your hours after work. You'll pretty much get like, and for any of you that have been in the work group chat, you have an idea how annoying it can be. So pretty much, work group chat, they keeping us informed on every single rodent that passes. And I get it, it's just a part of the job, but after work I want to leave work at work. So pretty much, yeah. So anyways, 2017, things was going smooth. Not gonna lie, being a pest control guy, you will see some pretty nasty things. You're gonna work in some pretty filthy places. You're gonna come across a couple of rodents that might be just as big as so but for the most part it was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, there was some good times on the job. Try to make it fun as possible, but anywho. So now, a few of the locations, though, for any of you that may know or ever been to New York City, drove in New York City, had to find parking in Manhattan, which is in New York City, you may have an idea how difficult things can get. So now, mind you, been on the job for a few months. This one location is somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, near 42nd Street, right? So there was this spot that I parked every day, every time I, did this location. Pretty much other people would park right here every single day, and so I parked, I'd park, go in. It was pretty much one of the closest parking I can find to the location. Grab my little equipment out the trunk, grab my little printer out the trunk, and my knee pads, and I'm paused, ready to go to work, grab my little equipment and I'm going in. So anyways, this one day I go pretty much the fastest I ever done the location. Everything was pretty cool. Staff is pretty friendly. Got in, got out. I'm not gonna lie, this day I'm having a really great day. Everything is going so smooth, and I'm a bit ahead of my schedule, right? So heading back to the car. When I get to the car, where the car is parked, there is no car parked where it was parked. Like, the whole car is gone, people. Like, the car is missing. So now I'm looking around, looking at the street signs, looking at the other cars parked there. Some cars are gone too, some cars are there, but pretty much the car that I had, the company car, is missing. So now I'm just like, what in the world is going on? I'm looking at the signs, I'm trying to figure it out. Now I'm like completely just, in shock. I don't know what's going on. I got 2 other locations before I'm done, and my shift is over. So pretty much, long story short, look around for a little bit. I find one of the, traffic police officers, and I'm like, hey, I parked right here, such and such, explain the situation. He's like, hey, it could have possibly gotten towed. What do you mean towed? Like, I've been parking here for the last 4 months. What do you mean the car has been towed? Yes, y'all, they towed the car. So now I gotta go to where they got the car, which is about 100 blocks from where I initially parked at. And now I got this equipment, laptop, and I just gotta walk 100 blocks to get to the nearest wherever they took the car. So I get there to where they took the car, whatever, pays the fine, wait a little bit, get the car back, and that was it. Went home, had to make up the other locations the next day, and pretty much, that wasn't it though. So maybe a few weeks go by, and another night, I park the car, again, takes the car to the valet at this location because it's in Harlem. Parking is pretty difficult. So I decide to use a parking garage. When I leaves the key with the parking lot attendant man, guess what, y'all? He forgets the key in the car. Locks the key in the car. Yes. So now the key is locked in the car, and pretty much somehow it ended up being my responsibility. So calls the boss. He's like, hey, got a little situation again. That's the first thing he's like, again? I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So yeah, I'm like, yeah. Tells him exactly what happened, gives the valet the key, the valet locks the car, blah blah blah. He was pretty upset, I'm not gonna lie. Lo and behold, the next day I get to email, I have been terminated. Yes, y'all, terminated, because the valet leaves the key in the car, and technically I should have found street parking like I usually do, and maybe that wouldn't have happened. So yeah, y'all, that's what happened. Got fired. That was it. End of my pest control experience. I wasn't even too upset, but it was still like, got fired. No one likes to get fired, So if you're still here through the story, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment down below. Have you ever been fired? Why you got fired? And was it your fault? So let me know what you think. House of Trotman. It's your boy K. I'm out.